They say the Nobel Prize goes not to the person who has the best answer, but the person who asks the best question. Welcome to a new HuffPost Live segment called Tell Me Why, where we bring together an elementary school kid who has a great question and a scientist who can answer it for all of us. Today, we're joined by a 7-year-old bird enthusiast, Edden from Thousand Oaks, California, and Julia Clark, a paleontologist in Austin, Texas, who knows all about birds. Edden, it's great. Thanks for being here. It's great to see you. You've got a question for Julia, right? What's your question?
Why do some animals have wings and others don't?
Julia, why do some animals have wings and others don't?
Well, Edden, with great questions come great discoveries. So I know you're going to get on to finding some, answering some big questions in your future as a scientist. But I think we have to start with which animals have wings to answer the question, why do some animals have wings?
What do you think, Edden? Which animals have wings?
Ostrich.
Yep. Okay, we got one. Julia,
All right.
Why don't you expand the category of things that have wings from ostrich and beyond?
Well, when we think about why animals have wings, wings evolved in many different contexts. The first wings evolved in the group that includes insects and crabs and all of the kinds of lobsters and that kind of thing. So birds came very late to the wing game. So when we look at why animals have wings, we have to look at all of the animals and these different contexts in which wings evolved.
You mentioned crabs. Do crustaceans have wings?
No, we don't have any winged crustaceans, but they're all part of a group we call arthropoda, and that includes a lot of different winged forms.
So to get back to Edden's question, what is it that drives, from an evolutionary point of view, what is it that drives some animals to have wings and other animals not to?
Well, in the first case, things like our first flyers, there was basically not much on land besides other early arthropods and invertebrates. And there was all of this unexploited kind of ecological ways of being. So you have animals exploiting new ways of being. And in those, what we call niches, then you have new kinds of food, you have the ability to exploit aspects of the environment that other animals aren't able to.
Edden, what do you like about birds?
What I like about birds is that they can fly and do awesome tricks.
Would you like to fly and do awesome tricks?
Yes.
Are you disappointed that you don't have wings?
Yes.
Julia, what would have to happen for other animals like humans to evolve wings?
Well, one of the big constraints on getting wings, Edden, they're actually a little less because you're smaller. How tall are you?
4'6".
4'6". All right, you're pretty, getting pretty high there, getting pretty tall. But one of the constraints is that you need to have a certain wing area to lift a certain body mass. So the bigger the body mass, the bigger the wings. And of course, building structurally secure wings takes a certain amount of weight. So for humans to get wings, then you're going to have really big wings. Some people have estimated, like for a full-grown human, about 18 feet wide. That's huge. So we have these structural constraints where we need to make what we call airfoils, the surfaces that allow us to get airborne, big enough to lift our body weight. And most birds are much smaller, and so they have much less constraint, and they don't have to have as big a wingspan.
Right. I mean, if you think of something like a hang glider or the size of the wingspan on a hang glider just to support a single human being's weight. Edden, I'm impressed that you knew how tall you were. I don't think when I was 7 I would have had any clue how tall I was. But do you have any particular favorite birds, Edden?
Osprey.
Mm-hmm. Any others?
Peregrine falcon.
Peregrine falcon. Nice. Any others?
No.
No? Okay. My favourite bird is the toucan. I was told that you like the toucan.
True, I like the toucan.
Yeah, all right. I got you on that one. So, Julia, also, Edden, did you have a question about feathers?
Yes. Why does the red-tailed hawk's feather make noise when you throw it in the air and the owl's feather doesn't?
Well,
Why do some feathers make noise and others don't?
So
we need an aeronautics expert here, don't we?
Yeah, well, owl feathers are really modified. They're modified for what we call silent flight. But I think you know the answer to your own question. Why is it that the feathers, one makes noise and one doesn't?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Well, you were telling me that one was owls are optimized for moving swiftly and silently. But then,
Yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me about that before. And whereas a hawk is going to be speedier, but it doesn't need to work in these environments where creeping up quietly on prey is more important. So owl feathers have tiny little changes, modifications in the trailing tips. And it's almost like little grooves that allow them to that kind of silent flight.
Does that make sense, Edden? I also wonder, do you need feathers in order to fly? Like, what's the advantage of a bird having feathers, Julia, when we know that bats and insects don't require them in order to get aloft?
Sure. I think what's generally true is that you want a light wing. So if we think of the animals that are airborne, it's not like heavy steel. What we have is very light construction. And feathers, the center of a feather is hollow, and they're very lightly built. So in that sense, you're gaining that wingspan, but you're not adding a lot of additional weight. I should mention that feathers did not evolve first in flying animals. They evolved in dinosaurs. And today, birds are just one continuance, one living lineage of dinosaurs.
Did you know birds are modern-day dinosaurs, Edden?
Yes.
You know everything. Do you have any other questions about birds, or are you satisfied?
I have one more. How can the osprey take all the water off its talons in less than a blink of an eye?
You got me there.
It's just really, really fast.
You've stumped the bird expert, is what I'm going to say.
Okay, Julia, thanks for filling in all of our bird questions. Edden, I hope
Awesome.
that's been fruitful for you. I found it fascinating. Thanks so much for being with us on HuffPost Live.
Okay, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Okay, see you, Edden. Stay tuned. We've got plenty more coming up right here on HuffPost Live.